turns out that Donald Trump, absolutely, positively, 100%, without a doubt, did drive viewership for the news media. I mean, it is what it is. We have some concrete data on this front now. So Axios just reported on this, and they said that publishers' traffic was down across the board, and many major news sites saw traffic dip more than 20%, according to data from traffic analytics company SimilarWeb. Politics consumption specifically, get this, dropped 28%. 28% with Trump gone. And they give some interesting numbers here. Biden was discussed on cable news for an estimated 1,836 minutes last month. And in February of Trump's first year, so the same time frame for Trump's first year, he was covered 4,669 minutes on cable news. That is out of this world. And then, so when Trump gave his CPAC speech, apparently the numbers on that, 7 million people watched that speech, and that rivals the number of people that tuned into the Golden Globes later that evening. And the hardcore Republican news channels like Newsmax, their traffic went up 179%, and One American News Network 157%, and Gateway Pundit, which is the far right, worst corner of the internet, 70% increase. So when he's gone, attention to the news media plummets. When he's back, it shoots up. So, the conclusion here is basically, and this is sad to say, but it's accurate, the American people kind of got addicted to the daily drama of Trump. That's what happened. People were interested in his every move and how controversial he was and the stuff he would say, and that daily drama, people were watching it sort of like it was a reality show. And they got into it. And so now with him gone and going back to an era of being more boring, 28% decrease in politics consumption, which is a really a gigantic decrease. I mean, that really is amazing. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to speculate about this. I mean, are we going to hit a point where Trump in 2024 runs and people sort of want that rush again? That like edgy adrenaline rush of being tuned in 24/7? I don't know, because you can make the argument this is exactly what people wanted. Was they wanted to, and I'm not saying this is the right thing to do. In fact, I think it's the wrong thing to do, but they wanted to feel like I could tune out a little bit more and not have to care so much and follow every single move because I'm afraid that Trump is going to, randomly blow up Botswana or whatever the fuck. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I do know that there are plenty of people who feel that way about it, that they like the fact they don't have to follow everything so closely. And then there are other people, I'm sure, who want to follow it closely and want that rush and, want to be more engaged. But all I can say is it is so uniquely American. All this is so uniquely American to me. The idea that we did turn it into sort of a reality show, and Trump is like the embodiment of Americanism in so many ways. Like he's like a living caricature of capitalism and the greedy CEO and the go-getter businessman and like the self-help guru. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, and it's not just him. You could argue that and Cornel West says this, just like Donald Trump is as American as apple pie, so is Martin Luther King Jr. So you got the good side and the bad side. But, it does strike me as a uniquely American phenomenon, and you just got to hope that they don't want that back. That people don't want that back. They don't want the show back. They don't want to follow it so closely every second of the day. The real thing that should happen is you should elect better people, and also you should pay as close attention, because I've always been of this belief that even though nominally speaking, the way the national discourse works with a crazy person like Trump in there is more sexy and more appealing to people, that's only at face value, man. When you actually get into the specifics of policy, it is really interesting and it is really amazing. And, people just need to be given that option. They need to be given the option of intelligent, informative, educational stuff and still maintain a level of interest equal to when you're watching the crazy reality show. I mean, that's one of the goals of this show and a lot of other outlets in new media. Certainly the goal of Crystal Kyle and friends as well. And I mean, I guess long term, I am optimistic on that point. I don't know if I'd say I'm optimistic long term on other things, but on that point, I am optimistic that there is such a thing as a media landscape that is interesting, entertaining, but also deeply informative. Trump was interesting and entertaining and not at all informative, and the media did a horrible job covering him, and it was just, it's like eating junk food 24/7 as opposed to eating a nutritious meal. I want you to eat a delicious, nutritious meal, not, pound Cheetos all day, which is effectively what it was when you're watching the Trump show. So, but it is what it is, man. These numbers are incredible. Giant, giant decrease in people watching the media as a result of Trump being gone.